antimatter legion. No abominations of abundance. This place
Yeah, I don't know
is the most
why it
peaceful
crashed.
paradise in the universe. Stop.
Nothing was even wrong on my end. Saber, you're not even gonna do anything.
Such blind courage! You ever feel regret? And the plus, an explosive start. Stars favor us. I can't become a fool like you. And I won't agree with your choices. People always observe the heavens with my divination. That omen. Don't thank me. I failed.
With the first command spell, I return your name to you. On behalf of Penacony, Asuna. Even if they have trademarked your name and stripped you of everything, that does not make you an unknown failure. Hold your head high, Mother of Iris. With the second command spell, I return to you the testament of your existence as a heroic spirit. Your death was what made singers and artists realize the need to reclaim their freedom and dignity for merchants. You are not some forgotten shadow. You are the founder of the Iris family, one of the 5 major lineages of Penacony. That's why you chose to borrow that name, isn't it? A figure shaped by your students and friends, by Maven and the Watchmaker. Miss Note, the one who sang freely in Dreamville.
No more. I don't want to hear anymore.
With the third command spell, as your junior on the stage, I return to you your freedom as a person. Mother of Iris.
Poor collab. I mean, for gacha game standards, it's actually a top tier collab. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
So the person we've been talking to was old Odie.
I order destroy all that is Divination says this will stars favor us.
Jeez, this thing is beefy. $40K AHA instant cook. Chill. Watch this AHA instant.
Don't thank me.
Yup.
Russian saber. With the command spell, I command you to unleash your noble phantasm! Shatter the Holy Grail!
Is me pulling Sparkle like Cone stupid because I wanted to buff Sparksy's crit rate? Yeah.
The Holy Grail.
Why are you guys falling for fake leaks? Like, that's literally, it's just a trend on Twitter now to make fake leaks about what your agenda pushing. Spend 70 pulls for a Sparkle icon? Damn. I'm not gonna lie, spending 70 pulls on a Sparkle icon in the big 26 is insane. Holy shit. That is insane.
Look at today's gift count.
You disrespected the Imperator and look at what happened to your Ashvale. Ashvale's still better value than fucking Saridra. And I like Saridra. I literally pulled Saridra on my Phanon account and my Inoxa account. What do you guys want me to do? Lie?
Hey, did you huh? Let's go to his room and... Donhung! He won't...
Hello.
Hey, Marge.
I got told I need 100% crit rate. Well, is what it is.
Pajamas, hot water...
Galabar. 700 years. It's never too late to pick up the tab.
DDD's kinda cooked for Sparksy. It depends. At the highest ceiling of like Sparkle builds, using DDD with Eidolon Sparkle to give her another turn, which could maybe lead to another ultimate of 6 skill points, it can be worth it, yeah. But for the average player, yeah, DDD isn't the greatest, but also Sparkle's Lycone has never been something anybody has ever recommended.
The food! Come on, keep up! Hey, quick! Serval's about to start singing!
Well, yeah, Sunday Cone is for sure better, yeah.
I take both big
For this
and
extra
small
skill point gen, NER gen.
How did you get a score this low?
Perfect. That's going in today's content reel. Is that... Next I'll be... Hot dirty!
So what crit rate should Sparksy have?
Ew.
100. As much as possible. But that doesn't mean you pull a Lycone just because it gives 10% crit rate. Like for example, this is stronger and is definitely going to be stronger in the long run for her sub DPS than Sparkle S1 by like a mile. 15% res pen plus punchline gen at the end of every aha instant. This would have been way better, and you just take it the hit if you can't get 100% crit rate. Or even this actually, this one too.
Is everything all...
Topaz shared with me.
Wow, that's... Oh, hey! We might...
Oh, I'm not doing this one. I don't like this one.
Back already?
Do you think Yao going Lycone is worth it? No.
Looks like there's smoke. We found it. Looks like the pilot isn't inside. If they escaped before it came down, they should still be nearby. There.
Watch this.
The leaker said it was on the 10th.
Watch this.
Yeah, the free Elation code is decently nice.
Feeling sticky?
Hold on, Pygmy. We're coming to get you.
Dragons soaring above the lands. This is permanence!
Let's play for a while. That one.
Good luck.
Oh yeah, true.
Explosive start.
Guys, I don't know, man.
I didn't know the Hellmaster of the Sky. I didn't know.
Like, I don't know. How the hell am I supposed to know about 4.4? 4.2? Just wait 3 or 4 days for the beta. I
Seems like I was born for this. I take
like
both
sometimes
and
I'm
small
sorry if this
donations.
comes off as rude. I can't believe my chat is real, bro. I say 3 or 4 days till the beta. Then I get asked when is the beta.
Why won't you listen to me?
Because it's... You know I...
Apologies, madam.
Please accept these gifts.
Chatter's just coming in? No, they've been here.
You too.
I'm sorry, guys. I have like a very stuffy nose. So if I read dumb questions or like people trying to use me like some chat GBT, I have a bit of an attitude. Sorry.
Quite a different experience looking down on someone. Watch this.
Then what use for you? That's all I come for? Then leave.
Come on, are you kidding? It's a trinket, remember? You think my mom would carry this with her?
It's a Devastator glaive? Is this from the battle? There were a lot of Cloud Knights.
No. This is only a replica. A bird cage. Huh. That reminds me. Have you guys heard of the birds that live in the Everhunt Plains? They have beautiful feathers, but you can't domesticate them. They don't live long if you lock them in a cage. Makes sense. How could a bird that's known the sky live in a cage? Mom always carries this trinket around with her, but I never realized there was something inside.
Watch this.
Yes, Zero Cyrene is still good with Monorem.
Mr. Yang, you call the sea. You call the natural. If you wish. The Chingnit. If I were to you call she. Yes, the legend both. It's hard to imagine.
She thought
This, I'm 30. We were great at the rain. Such you Kong, is it?
Hello.
I don't have any other.
I do not, however. Perhaps it is not.
Thank you, Jeff.
Mr.
Let's go.
You're...
Nah. It's version 4. Wu was EOSing because they didn't give any free 5 stars.
can use this one. Okay. Let me see. Helmmaster. It should be fine.
No.
Is it really that big of a deal? I'm sure they're just her notes on life as a pilot.
Yeah, it doesn't
Let's
matter,
read it together.
tactician. They'll find out anyways.
What is the meaning of this?
Once again,
The hell
there
is
is like
the
a
other
trend
one?
of like
Here.
fake
Mr. Newton?
intellectuals as of late. In like everything.
I see.
Especially once it comes to HSR meta though, because it's now more popular.
This divine I heard the word.
If Mom.
Perhaps say. No, this is. She won't. Just ask. Miss Tsai, her husband, but when it came, it was Tsai's death was nonsense in the end.
Where are thanks for
You're welcome. I suppose you're going to go. I can please don't. Ensure it. Hurry.
my mom. So.
You're all done?
When Mom feels down, she usually goes to take in a view of the Jade Gate.
I mean, it's just retarded, tactician. There's no other way to put it.
Mom?
Miss?
Thank you.
Like, even outside of logical explanation by actually learning how to read a kit,
I thought Mr. Yang.
the fact people think that they're gonna make free Sparkle best in slot for the upcoming Elation DPSs over the specific AoE Elation buffer has to be some of the dumbest shit of all time.
Mom!
Just like you, to float Sai with me soon. You never. Those are my. Mind is mis.
Pokey should not be watched for reliability. I think what's funny about Pokey and his takes and his community takes about Yao Guang not mattering that much is Pokey was the one to glaze Cyrene for her like 20 to 30% jump for a majority of the airs in her beta and say that he didn't understand the Doom posting around her. Yao Guang is 100%, not 20, not 30, not 40, not 50. A 100 more than that percent increase over any other alternative support option. And these people are trying to say Yao Guang looks mid. Couple mods, regular people on this Discord channel. Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. They're probably dumber. I made some decent progress. I mean, I like Pokey. I watch his videos from time to time. Everybody has different takes, of course. It's not that serious at the end of the day. But Yao Guang dooming is probably the dumbest character you could doom post in I think the history of this game. And that's not even me trying to like defend the character or over exaggerate it. There has never been another character in the history of this game who has given a 100% jump to a team and people have said is going to get kicked out and not be best in slot. It's really only Yao Guang that's gotten this. 10, not bad. I'm feeling fine.
Wheeltide spring is in season.
Well, yeah, tactician, once again, it's like people want to be pseudo-intelligent, but they don't want to put in any effort in actually understanding the characters. It's just common these days. Yao Guang generates 33 punchline in a 3-man elation team in a 0 cycle, which is as much punchline as Sparksy can generate within 2 9 skill point skills, right? So Yao Guang passively generates 18 skill points worth of punchline. Then she has her own SP gen and her own thrill gen for Sparksy, which is on its own competitive with Buff Sparkle's SP positivity. She's an AoE buffer. She's the only Elation team buffer in the entirety of the game. She is the easiest one to run on high speed for 134 AHA. She has tailored vertical investment for Elation, and she has an actual high amount of personal damage, unlike Buff Sparkle. But people still doom post it anyways. What collab do you want to see in HSR the future? I don't know, to be honest. I'd always like Naruto, but I feel like it's just so unlikely and out there, but you know. I don't think he doom posted her. I was more talking about recent Do You Need Yao Guang video. Oh yeah. Pokey really likes using high Eidolon supports, which usually scuffs his reviews. I know he does it just to get the content out. But yeah. He uses like E2 Sparkle, E2 this. It used to be E2 Robin 24/7. Like early V3, it was E2 Robin that got spammed on every team. Even E2 S5 Tribby isn't enough to power creep Yao. Oh yeah. I mean, you could probably go to E6 Tribby, and I think Yao would still be competitive, if not better. Because Tribby's Eidolons after E1 are kind of mid. Yeah, you could go to E6 Tribby and Yao Guang would still be better. Don't Triby's other Eidolons buff her own damage? Yeah, that's why they're cheeks. Well, yeah. He'll be good, Dark. He'll clear. Yeah. Any chance of Asheville V5 happening? Maybe. But got nothing on that right now. Yeah, I mean, at least we get Silverwolf and Evanescia in like 4 days. Ugh. I was talking to a friend about this in DMs, like, thank God, dude. I'm so tired of this Yao Guang discussion. Just get it over with. Oh yeah, there will also be the Nova Flared characters in EMC, but it's a V4. Yeah, I'm really tired of it, Bronte, Leon. I don't like talking about it anymore. I'm so tired.
Wonder where I needed this time.
I mean, the thing is, even if I put no Yao Guang discussion, it's like, as of late, I've just been getting bothered more and more by people just like coming here and asking like they're asking questions I literally can't answer. And usually it wouldn't tick me off that much, but lately it's really been ticking me off. Like when people are starting to ask me about, oh, is Evanescia an AoE DPS? Is Silverwolf or Evanescia stronger? Is Himiko, like, I don't fucking know, man. Or when people ask me like more obvious questions that I've answered probably a million times before. Getting one guide? If it was one guide, do you really think I'd be getting annoyed by this all the time from different people? Like, I don't understand why you guys say one guy every time I get angry at something. League so dry we can only cope with the capybara wisdom? I mean, I guess. The capybara has repeated the same wisdom like 100 times. This is how the beta is gonna go. Huo is gonna become the new best general sustained, and people are gonna be slandering Dawnhug PT. Seal will be the main DPS filler for Ashvale until he gets his limited one down the line, and people are either gonna be happy or sad, going both ways. Firefly's Nova Flare is definitely going to buff her early Eidolons and her base kit, and people are going to be doom posting her because they have an agenda. Welt is going to be a decent mid buff. He won't be anything exceptional, but he'll be pretty usable with probably 1 or 2 DPSs. Silverwolf and Evanesia are going to have Yao going as best in slots, and everybody's going to start complaining about how predatory this game is with dedicated supports. Or they're going to keep coping that she gets replaced in 3.6. Silverwolf is going to be stronger than Evanesia, because Silverwolf already has Sparksy and Yao Guang released anyways. And even though she can't take full advantage of Huohuo's energy while Evanesia can, she'll still make up for it with how much stronger she is. But if they make Welt best in slot for Acheron, that's what I've been thinking for a little bit now. Understandable. How? It's best to take a break from gotchas. Come back eventually if you want to, but... But yeah, just 4 more days, man, and the Yao Guang do. Well, no, there'll still be dooming, but it'll be way less. Like there won't be, at the very minimum, there will no longer be this bullshit buff sparkle is better than Yao Guang for Silverwolf's team. Finally, this shit can disappear. Like this has been probably the #1 cause of my headaches in Yao Guang Doom posting. It's like one thing to kind of believe they'd make a Cyrene-esque character near the end of the version. It's another thing to think fucking buff Sparkle would be better than Yao Guang. True, Bronte, true. People still try to say without Sparksy. With Sparksy, she works fine, so you don't need Yao. I mean, even if you can use Sparkle as an alternative, and it is going to be noticeably worse, more similar to a Cyrene situation versus everyone else in like Mono Rem. Like, yes, it isn't a lie that they can work without full best in slot team. That isn't a lie. However, here's the thing, and I feel like this is something people conveniently ignore when it comes to Yao Guang value. She generates more resources from her forced Aha instant on Ultimate, the more Elation characters are added to her team. So if Silverwolf has a resource on her Elation skill, the old calcs that I've done for Yao Guang would actually increase in value. Right. So you'd have the same punchline and maybe even more skill point gen than what she already does, plus everything else. And then if they add an Elation sustain, even more so. You are now generating 4 Elation characters worth of resources from their Elation skills every time you do an ultimate with Yao Guang. On top of this, if you run buff Sparkle, your Aha instant is slow as fuck. You know? Like, if we take what Anon said to be true, we aren't getting more Elation characters until damn near the end of the version. So you have no Yao Guang, you're running buff Sparkle, you only have 2 Elation. Aha instant is going to be slow as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Even with hyperspeed, it wouldn't be enough, Bronte. That's the thing. You need one person on 134 speed and another on 200 to get 134 Aha. And Sparksy isn't touching 200 speed. I'm sorry. She is not touching 200 speed no matter what. So it's either, like I said before, they make Silverwolf SP a speed demon, or you're just fucked if you don't have Yao Guang until, you know, some theoretical Elation sustain comes. Was that calc you posted comparing Sparkle and Yao's SP/punchline taking into account 2 or 3 Elation? 3. If it's 2, for Yao Guang it's 12 skill points, and I believe 20 something punchline. And then if it's 3 Elation, it's 18 skill points and thrill, and then 33 punchline. Although, I did think about this afterwards. If you don't run buff Sparkle in a, what's it called? Yao Guang Silverwolf team, then your skill point cap goes down to 7. So in actuality, when I said that, what was it? Yao Guang is equivalent to 2 max skill point Sparksy skills. It's actually more accurate to say it's closer to 3, because the max skill points with Sparksy Lycone is 7 as a sub DPS without buff Sparkle. So about 21 skill points worth of punchline gen from just her passive punchline generation, by the way, because she gets it from basic skill and ultimate. EMC will kick Sparkle out of Sparksy Hypercarry. See, that's the thing that I struggle to get behind. It makes sense that EMC would be best in slot for a lot of Elation DPSs or near it. But I do find it harder for me to believe that EMC could compete with buff Sparkle. I do find that one hard myself. Because if you're running main DPS Sparksy, it does change quite a bit. Like, the amount of skill point gen you need consistently for main DPS Sparksy is incredibly high. It's higher than likely any other Elation team. Just wait for Silverwolf.
This is ridiculous. How come I keep bumping into Polly?
If it's for Elation, then it won't even be close. Yeah. That's why it bothers me so much when people try to speak on this topic. And it's like, I've made an entire video on this. Almost every time I speak on this, and someone is on the opposing view that Yao Guang wouldn't be best in slot, there isn't really a real discussion. I just tell them what it is that Yao Guang provides that they probably weren't aware of. And then they're like, oh, she provides all that? Oh yeah, maybe Yao Guang is going to be best in slot. Like, that's how 99% of the discussions go with Yao Guang Doomers. That, or they just keep being in denial off of just blind illusion. Don't ask me questions I don't know, guys, please. 4.2 beta is going to be in like 3 or 4 days. Just wait until then. I don't know when the drip is. .200 speed aha instant? That's probably never gonna happen. I am curious what Silverwolf Eidolons will end up looking like though. Oh, it's okay. If you started only 3 days ago, that's fine. That's more relatable. I have to deal with people who have been playing this game for forever and are more annoying, so no problem. You shouldn't really be worrying about breaking your account all that much as a new player, though. I'd say you can mostly pull for characters you like. If you're a new player, you should understand you don't need best in slots, especially for newer shield DPSs. They usually only feel like they start needing these said characters like nearly a year after release usually. Yeah. Like, for example, my Anoxa account went for fucking E6 Anoxa of all things. And my Anoxa account is doing pretty goddamn fine right now. It's doing really good, actually. So, I mean, I could have gotten E2 Evernight with Hyacine Cyrene, but you know, I did it. So it is what it is.
This is ridiculous! How come I keep bumping into colleagues?
Understandable. I feel like Evanescia will have better vertical investment than Silverwolf due to her having less premium units. I disagree. I understand where you're getting at, but if there's anyone who's going to have better verticals than Silverwolf, it'd be probably Himiko and not Evanescia. I'd argue Evanescia and Silverwolf verticals will probably look similar, but then Silverwolf will have better verticals than her teammates.
This is ridiculous! How come I keep bumping into colleagues?
I just don't think they care about Evanescia as much as Silverwolf anymore. Evanescia lost her main push status, so she no longer gets mono elation. Spending Herta store credits on standard pulls low-key breaks your account. I'm not gonna lie, I do it on a few of my accounts. Nova Flare Ho 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 will change lives.
All's revealed in divining.
This is ridiculous! How come I keep bumping into colleagues?
Nova Flare Ho Ho also saved 50 children from a burning orphanage. W Ho Ho. I can't wait for that Tribi Nova Flare, man. It's gonna go hard. You guys excited for the Tribi Nova Flare too? Or... Hell yeah. W. E1 is the Nova Flare. I don't think they'd add the E1 speed buff in base kit personally. Also, I wasn't there when Ampho started, so I missed a Sunday rug pull, but was it really as bad as people say? Okay. Here's the thing. 99% of people who doom post Sunday for Cassie vastly over-exaggerated how bad it exactly was. Right? Like, don't get me wrong. It was bad. But the thing was, people who actually went out of their way to, like, do different rotations for Sunday and Cassie and shit found out that if you had an E1 Sunday, right? E1 Sunday, if given the proper rotation with a Cassie, could be as strong, if not stronger, than RMC. So, this was a real thing, but it was just like, oh, this is too limited versus a free character, obviously. But people would literally say it was impossible for Sunday to come close to RMC at all in a Cassie team, no matter what, and that he was a complete brick. But then, the thing is, especially at the time, like, you could argue about opportunity cost, because Sunday was best in slot for like 80% of the teams in the game at this time period. You know what I'm saying? It's like, sure, he might not be better than RMC for Cassie, but he is best in slot for fucking everybody else almost. So while, yes, it did suck because people thought he'd be best in slot for the entire Remembrance meta, I mean, he was best in slot for Aggie, but, you know. I said this a million times, and I'm going to say it a million times again if I have to. The quote-unquote backlash that they received for the global passive does fucking nothing. And it never will do anything.
This is ridiculous. How come I keep
People complained about the global passive just to make it their highest selling patch throughout the entirety of version 3. I was literally there when they were doing the 3.2 live stream and showed the global passive. And I saw the JP and CN live stream. None of them cared. In fact, a ton of them were actually excited for the global passive. Like, the amount of people who hate it over here isn't anywhere near the same amount of people who hate it over there. Yeah, I remember when Cassie Global Passive got revealed. I had people dead ass coming to my videos comments trying to say that, oh, Cassie is a must pull no matter what because of this global passive, and they'll scale endgame in the future with you having it. Nah, I had to deal with people from my own community, Bronte. And they were like, oh, you're a traitor. How could you possibly say this global passive barely matters? Oh, how could you? Like, they weren't even necessarily from, like, Saint Tontaz and the Doom posters. It was just people being performative. I think probably the funniest part of like the Cassie must pull agenda is the fact that Cassie kind of gets kicked out of her own best in slot team by hypercarry Evernight. That has to be the funniest thing. Listen, I love Cassie. My main account was originally a Cassie dedicated account, similar to my Anoxa one. But dead ass, her value is in the fucking dumps. Yeah, Castor's main appeal to me as well was the dragon. Cassie Nova Flare when? We good. Yeah. Like, Evernight is consistently faster, clearer at like 1 or 2 less costs than Mono Rem. I think across literally everything. Except Plight AA. Which is, once again, Plight AA. Okay, I really need to drive that home. That's like 100 plus million HP bosses. And even then, Mono Rem is barely better. At like this whale level of investment. Yeah, Evernight's E0 to E2 jump is competitive with Phenon's.
Thank you so much for your help.
Cassie's E0 to E2 jump is like 80 or 90%. Which is still strong, but it's not anywhere near Evernight's or Phenon's. I think one leaker said Cass wasn't getting any more teammates after Hyacine. I mean, here's the thing. All of the leakers thought that Cyrene would have a territory. And even maybe a global passive. I believe maybe Anon thought this. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But a ton of leakers were trying to spread the agenda that Cyrene had a territory. Which I went against because it just logically doesn't make sense if you're trying to sell the character. And it was like, if this character has a territory, you obviously can't synergize with Phenon or Cassie. Right? Like, it just won't work. But then we found out she didn't have a territory. She is the RMC upgrade. She is best in slot for all the years. Yippee. You know, all's well that ends well. There was Evernight. I mean, technically, were they wrong? Evernight hypercarry is way stronger than Cassie hypercarry. Were they really wrong? You can't say that Evernight upgraded the Cassie team, but pre-Cyrene, I feel like a lot of people forget this. If you don't have Cyrene, the upgrade Evernight gives to Cassie is like small as shit. It's like 15 to 20%. It's arguably lower than Ceridra for Phenon. It's probably the lowest of any Cassie best in slot. And then it was only after Cyrene got added, where not only do you get a Cassie buff, not only do you get the team synergy, but you also get an Evernight buff that buffs the entire team, where it became significantly better. Do territories even do something? They do. For Cassie, her territory when she has her dragon up gives 20% res pen. I don't remember what Phenon's is, if it even gives anything, or if it's just like a one character gimmick. What does territory mean in HSR? I mean, it's just you get a cool animation, like Phanon in his ultimate, or Cassie when she has her dragon up around the field, and it also has like a buff usually. So like for example, Cassie's 20% res pen territory. Sometimes what people do is they'll open up Cassie's ultimate after they've used ult on Evernight. So Evernight's about to do her memo attack, and then the memo attack gets 20% res pen because it's in Cassie's field. But this goes both ways, because you do lose out on the, you know, percentage HP gain towards Cassie ult if you do this. You know, you trade HP charge to Cassie for more damage on a hit. It's just those two? Yeah, it's only those two.
Thank you so much for your help.
Yeah, you can only have one active. You can never have two at the same time. So, for example, if you try to play Cyrene and Phanon together, it just wouldn't work. Like, for example, if she had a territory, right? If she had a territory on her ultimate, you'd get Cyrene's ultimate, you'd buff Phanon, you'd then try to ult, but it literally would not let you. It just does not let you ult on another character if there's a territory up. So Phanon and Cassie would have been bricked from playing with Cyrene.
Thank you so much for your help.
But when I try to tell people this on my Cyrene videos, and as well as social media and Cyrene mains on Reddit, they actually disagreed with me and said that they didn't care if Cyrene didn't synergize with Phanon and Cassie, because it would mean one animation on the field would look a little prettier. So, yeah, I mean... Pretty animation, DPS is based. Yep. I mean, to be fair, she got the pretty animations despite not having a territory anyways. I don't care what anybody thinks about Yao Guang anymore, man. Like, just throw my head at a wall at this point. Dude, how? Oh, they finally gave me a thank you. Wait. Wait, no.
Not too shabby. Wanna teach me next
Doesn't
time?
Aha Instant count as a follow-up? No. Aha Instant acts like its own separate entity. I mean, you could just use the... I think it's the propagation blessings. Either propagation or remembrance. Propagation has like res pen increase, skill point gen, energy regen, shit like that. They can just use that one. A noble domain is bad with Sparksy. We still play a noble domain in the Big 26. You have to on a new account. It's like 310 pulls. Sounds mid to me. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though.
Everyone likes a clever girl, right?
How the hell am I supposed to answer that if we don't have mono elation in the game?
Everyone is so funny today. Better surrender while you have the chance.
Oh yeah, Swarm Disaster is annoying.
Lots of eyes on the street.
The next HSR collab will be with Alya and Yugi. Surely, not Cope. Yeah, path buffs in like a simulated universe, in Divergent universe, don't always synergize with the actual path characters, unfortunately. What happened to V4 Asheville? What do you mean? Came out. How are you? I'm doing good. Hope you're doing well. Do you think we'll ever get a new element instead of a new path? No. To be honest, I've given up hope on this game adding a new element since, like, them not adding water. There's been a lot of characters that they could have just made for a water element, but they've just refused to do that. So how about a new playable race? No. You will get normal anime girls and men for the rest of this game's lifespan, whether you like it or not. I mean, they don't have a problem with some robots. Like, you have Sam with Firefly. But if you're expecting anybody at base to not look like this, then you are delusional. There's not going to be much variation. Well, yeah, like a 20% nerf to HSR characters doesn't even do shit. Because HSR verticals are so strong. It's like, oh, I'm going against non-weekend game content. Who fucking cares? I'm brute forcing anyways. I mean, Anoxa can do pretty well against non-win week Braun team. Like, for example, the last Cocolia boss, I'm pretty sure she has like 40% wind res. And Anoxa still got his normal 3-cause 0 cycle with Ceridra Irene like he always does. There's no res pen on the team either. Doesn't applying the weakness do res pen? No, that's a Silverwolf unique thing. Yeah, that's a Silverwolf thing. Anoxa implants weaknesses, but he does not get rid of, you know, their resistance, even if he implants it. Unlike Silverwolf. Well, you can say he kinda does it, but it's at his E2. Yeah, it's at his E2. That makes him more similar to Silverwolf. There's Red Shred in that team and Anoxa's no. Oh wait, there is. There's like 10% on Ceredra's double skills specifically. But that's it. Yeah, with the E2, yes. Yeah, with the E2. Without it, though, there's barely any. Yeah, Elation's a new damage type. It's like Super Break. Yeah. I'm still putting my money on Himeko being a break DPS. And Firefly is definitely going to get power crept. I don't know, man. The feeling lingers. The gut feeling of Himeko being a break DPS for Dahlia. And then they sell a fugue upgrade and an actual break sustain that's good. I don't know, man. It's creeping up on me. Does Elation damage have a corresponding resistance as well? No. You can do Elation damage, but it still scales off of the person's element who's using the attack. So, if you are a fire character and an enemy has fire resistance, your Elation damage, I believe, is still going to take a hit, since it's mainly fire. Elation damage can be buffed by Res Pen, it can be buffed by vulnerability, it can be buffed by defense shred, it can be buffed by a lot of shit. Similar to Super Break, it's just that things like damage bonus don't apply to it. We might get an Elation Dahlia in the future when HP inflation gets higher. Yeah, maybe at some point. Yeah. But to answer the question someone asked earlier, I mean, we don't have anything on it. Of course, 3 or 4 more days. But how much stronger Mono Elation will be than Mono Rem and investment Mono Rem needs? I think you are probably going to need full Mono Rem with light cones and E2 Cassie. And maybe even at E1 Evernight to compete with a normal premium Elation team. At least Silver Wolves. Mono Elation should be complete only at the end of the version. No, I'm saying Mono Elation is going to be this much stronger with just buff 12 like on release Silverwolf.
There are 3 keys to winning at Celestial Jade. Courage.
Silverwolf will use buff 12. What else are you going to use? Respectfully. Literally, what else are you going to use? Hyacine? No. Donhung PT? He doesn't even buff anything. He's basically just a basic attack bot. Wo gives, even if it doesn't help Silverwolf, it helps Sparksy and as well as Yao Guang. Yeah, no, Donhung PT would not be better than a buff 12 at all. Donhung PT isn't even better currently than Huohuo. The only reason people use Donhung PT over Huohuo currently is 1, he's more accessible because he's obviously still free, and 2, he has better sustained capability. But even currently, Huohuo's buffs are significantly better for an Elation team. We will get Elation sustained by Astropolis start? No, we won't. Otherwise, Eidolon was lying. Astropolis is only 2 patches after, what's it called? This. Is it worth pulling for Sparksy E1 or S1? Yeah, I'd say it's better to wait for Silverwolf Beta and her Eidolon investment, because that's more important if you do plan to make Sparksy a sub DPS for that. Because this is the same issue Cassie kind of has, and why her Eidolon investment falls off in Mono Rem. If you run Cassie as a pure hyper carry, her E2 is like an 80+% team damage increase. But if you use her as a sub DPS, this drops off to it being like a 40% team DPS increase, 50%. It's significantly less valuable because now there's multiple other people doing damage, so you value more so team buffs than you value personal buffing. Right? So when it comes to Silverwolf, Sparksy, if you were to get like E2 Sparksy even, let's say, and then turn her into a sub DPS, the E2 wouldn't be as strong anywhere near as it is in hyper carry. So Silverwolf's Eidolons would be higher value. It is also possible that maybe E1 Yao Guang plus E1 Sparksy is close to E2 Silverwolf value. Maybe. I don't know. It just depends on how strong Silverwolf is. E2s have been diabolical lately. I mean, both 4.0 and 4.1 E2s are kind of mid. Yeah, Asheville E2. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know why they don't even want to buff him a good amount in E2 for the people who like him. It's really weird. Apparently Sagrika's looking cracked. If I go to Chem's Calcs right now and I see it's the same damage as Luke, I will be very disappointed in you, Tactician. Yeah.
Look at today's gift count. So much enthusiasm.
It's the same as Luke's. Mods, tie him up.
Look at today's gift count.
Don't worry, Tactician, I'm trolling. They buffed the HP of the next MOC like a few days ago. I don't think that was just now. But yeah, Sagrika's decently strong. She seems to be around the 2.15 to 2.2 million damage range with current calcs. Which is... I mean, that's just AMETH damage. And like, Luke is also right there as well. Actually, let me see her sequences though. I actually didn't check that. Yeah, she has normal S3 and... Woohoo! Wait! Her S2 is actually her biggest early sequence, and not her S3, which is significantly more valuable. Holy shit. Thanks, Michikatsu. Yeah, Sagrika, that might be the biggest S2 jump in the game. 50% from an S2. It's not enough to fool me because I'm already focused on Hiyuki, but it is pretty impressive. For early S2, like, keep in mind, usually when it comes to a majority of WUA characters, they like selling the big jump on S3 because they know they sell sequences through the Coral Shop, so they really want to bait you with like going a little further on the S3. But having that big of a jump at S2, that's really good. I'm not gonna lie, that's a WUA W right there. I'm impressed. Not that I care though, we still getting Hiyuki. Is that the white-haired one? Yeah. I feel like you're sleeping on Sparksy E2. It's damn good for main DPS. I've already seen calcs for Sparksy's E2. It's not that good. It's good, but it's weaker than a lot of main DPS E2s from Ampho. And then in sub DPS, yes, its main value would be vertical investment for sub DPS in a Silverwolf team. But Silverwolf Eidolons will probably be higher value in this case scenario, so But for those who don't know, without Sparksy's Lycone, her E0 to E2 jump is like 40%. And then with her Lycone, I think it's like 60 to 70. It's not a bad jump, but it isn't really anything crazy. The problem is, when it comes to this E2, yes, you get an extra turn, but you have damn near no skill points to spend on this attack. You know what I'm saying? So this E1 punchline, like, this shit isn't even gonna matter that much until you get Silverwolf, who really wants the punchline for her ultimate. And then the same thing applies here. These Eidolons are more synergistic for being a sub DPS with Silverwolf than they are for main DPS, in my opinion. Yeah, Sparksy's Lycone isn't bad, but once again, when it comes to these mono teams, the investment of the character you want to prioritize the most, it's almost always going to be the main DPS because they carry a majority of the damage. Right? That's just how it is going to be the majority of the time. And the Lycone's skill point value, we don't know what Silverwolf's Elation skill does yet, but if theoretically the Doomers are right, and for some reason Silverwolf has no skill point gen, then I don't even think you'd need Sparksy's Lycone for the max skill point increase. I do think it's unlikely that this happens, and they will make it so you really want Sparksy's Lycone, but just saying. Yeah, I just saw another Hiyuki design leak, but it's her like preliminary design sketches. So there's been like 4 or 5 Hiyuki design leaks that you still barely get to understand how this character is actually going to look in game. Like, holy fuck. Just leak the actual design already. Because she sounds literally perfect from descriptions in terms of like baiting me to pull. But I just want to make sure, man. I want to see it. It doesn't even have to be animations. Like, just let me see the goddamn character. Also, I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if Kuro just cut off doing male characters forever at this point. Those Luke sales I saw, oh my fucking goodness. Like, that, I don't even blame them anymore, bro. Just make it a waifu-only game at this point. They clearly make you way more money. HSR could never. Asheville's about to sell triple cardboard. No main DPS. His only main DPS is an outdated 2.x follow-up one who is literally just holding him down even after he got nerfed by like 60%. His Eidolons are mid. It's 4-week long patch. The patch is right before the anniversary. GG's Asheville. Congratulations, you have the lowest sales in HSR history. I'm proud of you. Stand proud. You were strong. I know Firefly's popular, but don't you think if they made Boot Hill and Rappa as good as Firefly, she would be almost as popular? But that was already the case. Rappa with Fugue was beating Firefly in quite a few clears, and Boot Hill against the specialized content in APOC was beating Firefly as well pre-Dahlia. Like, people were literally memeing and making fun of Firefly being weaker than the other DPSs. I didn't play 2.x yet. Like, people were clowning on Firefly because she got buffed the least from Fugue. And they were like, oh, this is a main push character? And then got... It's like an Anoxa situation, to be honest. Like, it's literally exactly an Anoxa Phanon situation. You get Ceridra, who you think is made for a Phanon best in slot. And then you get Anoxa, who can use said character better than the actual main push one. And then Phanon ends up getting slandered for being an E2 merchant. The parallels between Phanon and Firefly are so similar, it's insane. It's really insane how similar those two are in terms of like community, you know, outlook and shit like that. I mean, that's just how it is. The more popular you are, the more haters you're gonna have. It's just natural. If this means Phanon will get a Dahlia, then I'm good with it. I don't know about Phanon getting a Dahlia. Because, like, Phanon isn't like a super break stuck to a specific damage type. But I do think they would probably Nova Flare Ceridra just for him. Which is low-key what my Anoxa account is banking on. I don't think they'll Nova Flare Anoxa anytime soon. But because Ceridra is supposed to be a Phanon support, I wouldn't be surprised if they Nova Flared Ceridra decently early. And that indirectly is an Anoxa buff for me as well. Because they really dropped the ball with Ceridra for Phanon, in my opinion. Just isn't anywhere... It's almost hard to call someone like that a best in slot, in all honesty. It's very hard to call a character like that best in slot. Because technically she is. But, like, dedicated support only being this much better is kind of sad. What kind of support would Phanon need to perfectly synergize with him? Ceridra. But they just need to give Ceridra better base kit buffing. And for it to not take as long for you to achieve double meteors. It was literally... Her kit is fine. And the way it works... It's just that her buffs are way too weak. Right? And despite how weak her buffs are, even on top of this, a majority of Phanon's attacks aren't fully buffed by Seri. Because a lot of the buffing power in Ceridra's kit is locked behind specifically double skills. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, if you were to compare a Dahlia to Break, a Hyacine for Monorem or Cassie, you know, characters like that, and then you compared it to what Ceridra and the jump she gives to Phanon, it's just kind of sad. I can't, you know, pretend it isn't. It's pretty sad. if they allow her to skill in departed state, that would be better. Yeah, that too. Although, if I remember correctly, the reason Phanon doesn't have any characters in his ultimate wasn't a purposeful game design. I remember seeing a video about this, where it was like dev commentary on when they were making Phanon. But the reason Phanon kicks out all allies on the team is because the game would crash if they allowed allies on the team. Like, they were explaining that when they tried to put the entire teammates in his territory and his ult, the game would just crash and it wouldn't work. So they had to kick all of his teammates out so that the game would actually run when it came to Phanon's ultimate. And that's why Phanon does what he does in his departed state. Yeah, it was performance issues. So, what we originally thought when he was coming out was like a purposeful game design for like, oh my god, he gets rid of his teammates and he just solos everything. Like, nah, that was just, they had to do it, otherwise they couldn't release him. They said the same about Evernight having multiple memo sprites on field. Oh, really? Oh, so that's where it puts me. I folded and spent 50 pulls for Ceredra Lycone for my Phanon. Bruh. Hey. Congrats, man. I was thinking to do the same for Anoxa. But even though Anoxa needs a Lycone more than Phanon does, I need to make sure I guarantee Cyrene no matter what. Supposed 19% damage increase? There's no way 54% damage bonus does that much. Well, I guess it also buffs her attack a lot. So you end up buffing Phanon's attack more. But there's no way a skill damage bonus buff adds that much, man. Good luck, Tactician. I forgot my email, username, and password. How can I get my HSR account back? You can't? If you've forgotten literally everything, including the email, I mean, you probably can't. I'm sorry to hear that. if you haven't forgotten the email and you can still log into your email, you can like contact Hoyo about it or do forgot password and then work from there. With Cyrene, he doesn't get too many damage bonus buffs. Well, yeah, that is kind of true. The overcapping on damage bonus used to be more of like a Sunday and Bronya problem when he first came out. But yeah, with Cyrene Ceridra, there shouldn't be as much damage bonus, so it makes a bigger difference. Yeah. I believe in you, Gabby. What the hell do you believe in? Bro. Oh, I see, Tactician, yeah. All I know is that Ceres Lycone is also a pretty big jump for my Noxa account. It's less about the damage increase it gives, and it's more about the skill point. Like, I've noticed this, even running Sunday plus Seri, like, the skill points can be quite annoying at times. The one skill point on ult is actually pretty useful. But I need to make sure I guarantee Cyrene, dude. That's like the #1 priority. Well, I guess... Wait, yeah. Ceridra banner should still be on when 4.1 gets leaked, right? So... If Cyrene isn't in 4.1, then I would probably try for a Cyrene or Ceridra Lycone. Then I'd probably try for it. But I need to make doubly sure, just in case they rerun her in 4.1, that I always have enough balls to guarantee Cyrene. That is so important. I gotta go. It was fun chilling here. See you later, Steel. Thanks for stopping by. Cyrene rerun in 4.2. I agree it's most likely to be in 4.2, but I just don't want to take the risk. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take the risk. Because they have so many Nova flared characters during 4.2, there is a possibility that they move Cyrene either 4.1 or 4.3. A possibility. That's all I'm saying. Depending on their mindset. If I wasn't trying to keep my Anoxa account pure free to play, this wouldn't be an issue. I just drop $100. But I am trying to keep it free to play for like my channel and shit. They didn't run all Nova Flares on 3.4. No, but they ran 3 of them. So while, yes, they didn't run all of them, the Nova Flare still took up 1/2 of the entire patch. I mean, I guess... Okay. Wait, no, because then where would the Dahlia rerun be? So they wouldn't rerun Dahlia on Annie, and instead... they'd rerun Dahlia in like 4.3 maybe? Welt is not a limited? Yes, but the other 3 are limited. So they'd still probably all rerun, once again, on 1/2, with a triple banner. I'd probably say for Silverwolf. They were if they rerun Dahlia on Annie, the problem is you only have 2 slots left. You have the 3 limited characters getting Nova flared on probably one half. You have Dahlia, Cyrene, assuming you think Cyrene is there, and then there's only 1 spot left. So you guys think like Cassie? No Hyacine rerun? I don't know about no Hyacine rerun.
Do you think we're stupid? To everyone watching this.
8 banners? I mean, isn't that 8 banners though? Silverwolf, Evanescia, Dahlia, Cyrene, Firefly, Huo, Seal. That's 7. Oh, that's nice home press. Has Boot Hill reran yet? No, but it's like, who even gives a shit about Boot Hill? What's the point of rerunning him? Boot Hill's Eidolons are like complete cheeks too. Alright, chat. I'm going to end the stream here. It's now early in the morning, so I'm probably going to go out somewhere. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.